How's it going, guys? So just want to make this little video for anybody who is interested in financing their own A90 Supra. When I purchased mine, it was the year 2022. I bought it brand new out of the box, so it had like 4 kilometers on it total. I want to do like a detailed rundown of what costs you're looking to expect, what maintenance is going to look like, gas, all that. So if anyone is interested in purchasing one of these, they're like, okay, well, here's a rough budget spreadsheet of how much it's going to cost. So the base cost of this vehicle, including taxes, at least here in Canada, is about $83,000. That includes the like $3,000 GST, and then there's another separate tax as well. That's $7,000, but it's $83,000. One of the things that I did was I put $10,000 cash down on the vehicle as well to help reduce the finance. So then, you know, your payments get smaller and smaller. You put $10,000 cash down, you're looking at about $500 bi-weekly payments. So about $1,000 a month will go towards your loan or finance or whatever. Now, one thing that will appear as well on the transaction of the vehicle is like a freight charge, which is another $2,000. So pretty much that's just them transporting it from the factory to the dealership or dealership to dealership. Going into insurance, my personal insurance is $170 a month. I have a full license, and I have a bunch of discounts for safe driving. So, but mine is $170 a month, which is fairly low. But it can be as high as about $360 a month for insurance for this vehicle. That is what I was paying when I was still like a new driver, which is like you don't have your full license, you don't have any full discounts. It was about $360 a month. Maintenance wise, for example, an oil change from the dealership is about $350. Of course, that's, you know, they're charging you for the 6 liters of oil, the filter, and about an hour of work. You can do it yourself for a lot cheaper if you're interested. A self oil change is $107 for the oil. That includes a 5-liter jug and the 1-liter jug of the 0W20 that the Supra takes. And then as well as you can buy a $20 filter on Amazon, or I believe it's like a $25 filter from the actual dealership itself. For other maintenance I had to deal with was installing a new turbo. A new turbo is $3,200, so $3,200. And if you want to take it to a dealership and have them install it, it's another $1,500. I chose to just do it myself, which takes about 3 days of work. But pretty much 3 days of work, slapped it in. It's fairly easy, but if you don't have the proper tools, knowledge, maybe you don't have jack stands or whatever, maybe just pay the $1,500 to the dealership and just get it done through them. And now I did include that in the maintenance because turbos do go pretty frequently with these cars, like regardless if you're running high horsepower, tracking it, not. It's just, it kind of depends. Like sometimes you get a good turbo that lasts you like 100,000 kilometers. In my case, it lasts me only 35,000 kilometers. Next for maintenance would be the Pilot Super Sport 4s that I have on my car. Depending on what tires package you get, it can be a little bit cheaper. For the Pilot Super Sport, Super Sport 4s, it was $2,600 for the full set, including balancing and alignment and all that. For brakes, it's just a $20 kit. I believe you can buy it on Amazon. It's just, I believe, to compress the actual caliper. And you need about $400 for top end pads. Of course, go with the top end pads. And that's pretty much brakes. Again, I haven't done brakes myself, but that is what you're looking for roughly. The next maintenance that will probably hit you within 100,000 kilometers is your spark plugs. I haven't done them personally, but from doing some research, it's about $200 for the plugs and whatever else you might need, like wires or whatever, but it should be just the plugs. And You might need a kit that, of course, every kit kind of is different. I've seen kits that are like $10 and then other kits that are like 50. Just depends on where you live, what kind of kit you like. So that's pretty much what I got done for maintenance: oil changes, turbos, tires, brakes, spark plugs. I think that's like the main 5. The next category I wrote down was gas, because I don't know if it's just the tank is small. I don't know if it just drinks a lot of gas. This car usually only lasts about 400 kilometers, which is not a lot at all. And to fill up your full tank, it is like $80 to $90, depends where you are. I put 93 octane with like 10% ethanol, like E10, right? So for me, it's like $90 about for a full tank. So I did a little spreadsheet as well on the back of how much you'd be looking at if you're in my similar situation of purchasing a brand new one of these for $83,000 with the finance, the insurance, everything. So for financing, of course, you're looking at about $12,000 a year. Okay, it sounds big, but realistically, like as long as you're making a decent amount of money, it's not that big of a deal. Insurance is about $4,320 a year, so you can just add that up. Oil changes, if you do about 2 a year, you should be changing your oil every like 10 to 12,000 kilometers on this car, not including the break-in period. If you're taking it to a dealership, of course, it's about $700 for those 2 that year. Now let's just say you do go race and you gotta do all the maintenance just to kind of have a peace of mind. You wanna do all the maintenance. You're gonna be looking at $4,700 for the turbo. New set of tires is $2,600. To redo the brakes, $400. Spark plugs, $200. And let's just say in that year, for those 2 oil changes, and I don't know, you were driving to work or whatever, you drove 20,000 kilometers. That's about 50 fill-ups, and you're looking at about $4,000 in gas. And that's again if you're running 93 octane with the 10% ethanol that we have here at our pumps. Of course, every situation might be different. And you're looking at about, I calculated, $28,920 for the year. But to me, when I did that, I was like, you know, that's really high. I personally did not pay that much. Realistically, you're not gonna need a new turbo unless you do something silly. You probably won't need tires. If you guys don't know, you only need to change out your tires like every 2-3 years. It's like once you feel like the rubber is kind of getting old and cracking, and or the wear and tear on it, sure, replace it, but that's like every 2 years, right? So I excluded the turbo, because unless you're racing, you don't need to replace that. Excluded the tires, spark plugs, brakes, all that. And I calculated that, let's say you just drive a little bit less instead of 20,000 kilometers, like 15,000, and then you get the cheaper insurance. Maybe you take out theft and something else like fire damage or whatever. Everyone's place is different. Then realistically, you're looking at about 17,400, which I wrote down as the more realistic, including the finance and everything. And I can truthfully say that is roughly how much I was paying. And I still had money and time to get, mods such as cold air intakes, downpipes, resonator deletes, all that, because I saved, from going 28,000 roughly to 17,000. I was able to put money in other places. Hope you guys found this video slightly educational, maybe help you make your decision a little bit easier. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.